Today, Gina Young's going to show you all how easy it is to make a delicious chicken adobo. We're making chicken adobo here at the Young's house, and if you have never tasted this, you're in for a treat. I'm talking about taste bud overload. Your taste buds are going to love this recipe. No matter who you feed it to, they're going to go wild over it. So make sure you make a nice amount. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need just some chicken. Now, it is suggested when you're making this recipe that you're going to use a chicken piece that has the skin and the bones. It's going to give more flavor, okay? Definitely. You don't want to use like a boneless, skinless chicken breast because the flavor's not going to be there, okay? So what I'm using today, I have some chicken thighs. I will also make this recipe sometimes using like a chicken wing or a chicken leg, you know, because it has the bone and the skins. You're going to need some fresh garlic, and honestly, you can use a lot of fresh garlic. Not the kind that comes out the jar. Not that kind that's packed in the water or the oil. Fresh garlic, and you're going to need some bay leaves. I have two. I have a large one and just a small one here. You're going to need some brown sugar. So whether it's dark brown sugar or the light brown sugar like I'm using, either one works. Nice sweet Vidalia onion, and we're going to serve this recipe over some light fluffy rice, okay? And then I have a beautiful baguette of bread here. I'll show you what we're going to do with that because I have to eat this recipe with some nice hearty bread. You're going to need a really interesting ingredient, some vinegar. Any kind of vinegar you have around your house, you're going to use that. You're going to need some soy sauce. If you're able to find dark soy sauce, I would love if you could use that, but sometimes it's hard to find it, or maybe you could get it on Amazon. But I just have some regular soy, okay? And you're gonna need some peppercorns, okay? I don't have whole peppercorns, but these ones are pretty big. So I'm taking some out of there, okay? You're gonna need some spices to make everything come together and taste magnificent. We got salt, pepper, garlic and onion powder, and some paprika. And inside of my pan here, I'm hoping that you can see there's just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan because we're going to start off by searing up this chicken really good and getting it nice and crusty. Make sure your hands are clean. Let's make chicken adobo that tastes spectacular. Another ingredient you're going to need. You're going to either need some water or broth. Either one doesn't matter. I'm going to use some broth today, but using the water is just fine as well. Chicken here that I have washed off using lemon juice, salt, and cold water. And how I do it is I literally take that lemon, I cut it in half, and I sprinkle some salt all over the chicken, okay? And then I'm rubbing the chicken with the lemon or the lime or the apple cider vinegar, you know. Give it a nice scrub and rinse it off. Not only do I find that it cleans the chicken the way I want it, okay, but I feel like it gives a great taste as well. There's going to be people in the background that says, don't wash it. You don't need to wash it. Well, you don't. Actually, you really don't, because the heat is going to kill off any bacteria that's on this. But me personally, when it comes to my meats, I like to wash them, and I want to hear from everybody. I do. I want to hear from everybody. What do you do? Do you wash your meats, or do you not? Or do you frown up on people that wash their meats? Let me know. Okay, look, I got some kitchen, excuse me. I got some kitchen shears here. We're going to cut off the fat. All right, but we're leaving the skin on. You know, you'll know the difference of the fat. The fat has like a yellow tint to it, and typically it's at the bottom. But this right here, this lovely skin, I'm leaving it right on. So I'm going to set this right over here. Let's do a couple. And then we're going to season this up really good. And we're going to do something super special. This recipe is absolutely amazing. And if you have leftovers, this is a good recipe for leftovers. Ever heard of like some dishes taste better the next day? Baby, if you have some of this leftover, put it in your husband's lunchbox to take to work. Put it in your wife's bag so she can take it to lunch. This right here is good stuff. Kids love it. When I tell you this meat is going to be so succulent and gorgeous, just watch and see. I'm going to continue to clean this chicken up just like so, and I'll be right back. Be right back. This recipe is a Filipino recipe that I absolutely love to make. I probably make it once a year, but I should be making it more. I should be making this more than that, right? Because my family loves it. It's so easy to make and it's cost effective. Like, it didn't cost me nothing for these ingredients. So now, there's another ingredient you're gonna need, which is some green onions. I have already used the green pieces, but I still can use this here. So I have the bulbs of the green onion, okay? Let's go ahead and chop them down. We're getting ready to make a lovely marinade, okay? And this marinade is going to bring so much flavor to this chicken, okay? So now, just like this. Aren't these huge green onions? Are you kidding me? I used the top parts on another recipe that I just did earlier. So we're just gonna set these aside, okay? Let's get started on our sauce. Whether you're using the water or the broth, I'm using some chicken broth, okay? Let's see, all right. Let's get it right into here. This recipe has a tangy, a sweet, a sour, everything that your taste bud's gonna love. That's what's in this recipe, and I'm not kidding you. It takes your taste buds on a slip and a slide that you're gonna love. I'm gonna open this up because I need at least a half a cup or more of my soy sauce. If you can find the dark soy sauce, is thick and it's got a nice sweet taste, you would love it. And if you're gonna use it, you're gonna use like 2.5 tablespoons of the dark soy sauce, okay? But I ain't got it, so you know, we'll work it out, right? I'm gonna put a half a cup of the vinegar in there. Not so much to where it's too tangy, right? But enough to give it that flavor to make it adobo, okay? All right, we're going right in, but don't worry, we're putting brown sugar in it, and that fixes everything. It really balances out everything. So you can decide that you want to put between a half a cup and a cup of the brown sugar in, okay? I'm gonna put just a little under a cup, okay? So let's go ahead and measure that. Doesn't have to be a correct measurement, okay? Let's get that in. Don't make a mess like I did. Right? Things happen. I'm going to clean that up and then we're going to give it a nice stir. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to taste it and see if I'm happy with the flavor. And if I'm not happy with the flavor, I'll be adding in some more sugar. Okay? So let's see what we got here. Okay? And we're going to put fresh garlic in. I'm going to take my knife and kind of crush the garlic and put it in here so it can release amazing flavor. And our chicken sit in here for a little while, just so it can marinate and pick up these lovely flavors, okay? Let me see what we got. All right, I want a tiny bit more sugar. But that is exactly what I'm looking for. Oh my goodness, when I tell you, you're gonna love this recipe. And this is an authentic recipe. Let's go ahead and put green onions in. Okay, I'll pick up this brown sugar that's on my board, and why not? We're gonna throw that in. Awesome. And now we're gonna take those 2 bay leaves, just drop them. I have fresh bay leaves. If you have nothing but the dried bay leaves, that's fine, you can use it, okay? So now I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna whack the garlic, okay? It helps to take the skin off. See how that skin comes right off? I'll toss that. But then I have broken up garlic that's gonna infuse this liquid here. Okay, so now we'll just set this aside for the time being. We're gonna come back to that. And so I'm gonna bring my chicken into the equation. We're gonna season it to give it some good taste, and then it's gonna go right into that marinade. Because we need whole black peppercorns, and I don't have them whole, but I do have some large pieces of peppercorn in here. I'm just gonna put it in here, but it's a big grind. So I will have those big pieces, and I'm sure y'all can see a black pepper, and on purpose, I'm putting a nice amount in there. You gotta be able to taste that flavor. There we go, awesome. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, you have the option, really you do, if you want to take the seasonings that we want to season our chicken with and throw it into the marinade, it's fine. Or if you want to be like me and you want to see those spices onto your meat, go ahead and season it this way, okay? I'm going in with salt. Okay, and then we'll even flip them over and season that other side as well, okay? If you can't use salt, I always tell everybody, leave it out. Paprika always gives a lovely color and it's not smoked, okay? I'm going in with a nice amount of onion powder. Even though we're using fresh green onion, still use the powder. Even though we're using fresh garlic, still use the powder. Okay, we really don't have to use the black pepper, but I will flip the chicken over, season the other side, and then we're going to put it into that gorgeous marinade for as long as you want. But because I'm doing a video, I ain't keeping it in there long. You know, if I was just cooking it, you know, without doing a video, oh, I'd let it sit in that marinade maybe for 2 hours or more. Okay, so now let's flip this over. The smell is great right now. Are you kidding me? I want to show you something. Because in my pan here, excuse me, I do have some oil, but really it's just enough oil. I may have showed you earlier. It's just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. We're not deep frying it. Just want to get a nice sear onto the chicken, make that skin nice and crusty, and kind of pre-cook our chicken, right? All right, lovely. Because once we do that, then we're going to take this marinade, and what we do interesting with this recipe is you don't toss this marinade. This marinade goes back in with the chicken that has like pre-cooked, and then you let that marinade kind of, a lot of it will, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's a word that I'm looking for, evaporate. But it'll also thicken up. And when that sauce thickens up, it makes a lovely sauce that is like finger licking good. You're going to be licking your fingers for sure. Absolutely. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm getting that sugar at the bottom because, you know, the sugar rests at the bottom. But eventually it will dissolve within this liquid here. Okay, so that's what you're wanting. You want for the sugar to dissolve. When it dissolves, you're going to get a better taste versus it just sitting here at the bottom and then your chicken don't get that flavor. Once the sugar is nice and silent, that means that it has dissolved within this liquid here. It smells great. Let's go ahead and put our chicken in there. That black pepper really had me sneezing. All right, we're just going to put it in there, let it work up some great flavor, and when I come back, the time would have passed that I decided I was going to let it marinate, you know, and then into the pan to get a nice sear onto it. Oh, it smells and looks so good. This is one Filipino recipe you will live for. Your family will beg you for more. They will. That's why I said, make sure you're making enough. Yum, yum, and yum. Here's the thing. You don't have to put this in the refrigerator. You really don't. Just set it on the counter and let it kind of hang out for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Get our chicken right into this hot pan. All right. Give it a nice, like, let it drain for a second because it's getting ready to hit the oil. And you know that liquid and oil doesn't match, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to use my fingers. I want to put, look at the flavor. You see that dark color? That's all good flavor. Put it skin side down, okay? Lovely. Oh, it smells good already. Right into our pan. And I'm not going to bother it. Don't you bother this right now. Let it get a nice sear. Let you get some color. You're not trying to fully cook it right now. You just want color onto the chicken on both sides. And then when we get that, this lovely marinade goes on top of this so it can turn into a lovely adobo sauce. I mean, how easy is it? Can you imagine the smell right now? It smells great in here. Oh, I'm excited. And you should be too because you're going to love this recipe. Chicken is cooking up. It's time for me to make my way over to the larger stove because I got some rice to make. Now, honestly, if you wanted to, you could serve this with a beautiful bed of fluffy mashed potatoes, right? You could serve it with butter noodles. I'm going to do white rice because that's what I always serve it with, okay? All right, lovely. I'm just cleaning up my kitchen, and when I come back, we need to slice up some beautiful sweet Vidalia onions. make sure it's a sweet Vidalia onion. And hopefully when I come back, we got some nice color on here, and we'll be able to flip these over. Some nice, beautiful onion here. We're gonna go ahead and slice it. It's a large onion. I'm gonna use all of it. I'm gonna use all of it. You must have onions. Oh yeah, in this recipe, I'm all excited. I'm all over this recipe. Now listen, have you ever tasted it? I wanna know. Have you ever heard of it, or do you plan on making it? Let me hear from you. I feel like not enough people know about this recipe. It's like a hidden gem that if you know how to make it, then you know, and if you don't, you just lose out. You know? All right, so let's do it. How am I gonna slice it? I guess I'm gonna somewhat do quarters here. We'll just do it just like this. We're not really going to make a big fuss about it. Well, that's different. Once I cut it in half, it ain't quarters no more. This is quarters. So we kind of just have it just like that. Okay, let's make our way. I put the chicken behind me so I could have a bigger circumference heating, because this is much smaller than my stove behind me. Let's go check in on the chicken. Take a look at that. See that color that we're getting? That's good color. Just because it's dark, don't think that that's burnt. That is amazing color. That color right there means Flavor City. Are you kidding me? Okay, so now that we've turned the chicken over on the other side, right behind the camera, I'm stirring my marinade once again. And so now the marinade goes into the pan and all of it, okay? It's gonna turn into a sauce. If you have those green onions and the bay leaves and the garlic, put that in, okay? Because there's where your flavor is gonna come in. Let's do it. This marinade, it'll reduce down and then it'll begin to thicken up. Oh, yes. Over here, I'm boiling just a plain piece of chicken thigh for my puppies. It has no seasoning on it, but they're gonna get that. I'm gonna shred it apart. I'm gonna take the skin and the bones off, of course, and that's what they'll have. They're spoiled. I know, somebody's all excited. Gina, it really did reduce down. Well, absolutely, I ain't gonna steer you wrong. Now look at this, let me show you. You got a lovely sauce, and like I said, once it reduces down so much, that sauce gets thicker. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know the whole house smells great. All right, here I got some water going. I need that water to boil so I can get started on my lovely rice. Make what kind of rice you want, or potatoes. My husband's gonna have his recipe today with a nice baked potato, so I'll make him 2 baked potatoes. But look at this. How easy is the recipe? It's coming together so quickly. This right here could definitely be one of your favorite dishes. Go ahead and check in on it. You can see I've turned those pieces over, but let me show you the flavor within the underneath side. Oh, baby. Baby. I know. My husband had to run out to our local store real quick, but I let him taste the sauce, and he said, my goodness, baby. He said, why you don't make this more often? That's what he said. And that's what your family is going to say. Ooh, wait. My rice is cooking up. I got to get his potato going. This right here, you got to try it. And when you try it Gina Young style. Chicken adobo. Got that nice sweet Vidalia onion. I put it right in here. And guess what? Our chicken is almost done. Go ahead and take a look. The rice is fluffy. And I put chicken bouillon powder in that rice. Look at this. This is what you want. Let me just show you. Look. It turns into almost a gravy. Y'all, when I tell you, if you follow this step by step, you're going to go wild over this recipe. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, what you waiting on? Tell your family and friends. Tell the world what Gina's doing every single day in this kitchen. And Father, on today, we thank you for this meal. Your hedge of protection and your love. Amen. Amen. Once again to my prayer. Stay tuned. We're going to taste this. You're ready. Okay. One or 2 pieces. 2. Let's do 2. The cameraman says 2. All right. This must go be his plate, right? And so now we're going to take that sauce. The sauce is the boss. You kidding me? Yum. All right. And in we go with the rice. Come on. Don't fall on me. There we go. You could put a little bit of sesame seeds on here, just if you wanted to beautify it. But those green onions is just fine. Make you like to do. We're going to take this lovely baguette that we have here. All right, I don't want the end, but I'm saving the end, right? Not for me though. All right, so let's just put that there. You can butter it if you want. I want a nice thick piece, 2 pieces, because I'm dragging this all through the sauce. Are you kidding me? I'm dragging it through the sauce, or I might just put my chicken adobo on top of it. Oh, yes, it's gotta be fresh bread. Look at that. Yes. Okay, so now let's just nestle that right in here. Let me clean my area up. You're getting ready to take. Come in close so they can see this plate. Y'all. Yes. Yes. Listen to that. The neighbor dogs is barking because I know they can smell it. My dog's barking. I don't even. Why am I using a knife? Why? Because I don't have to. Hold on. Take that bread. Make you some.